friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maddie. How are we doing today? I hope we're doing good. Today I have a blue monochromatic look using the ColourPop Blue Moon palette. This is the 5th look in my monochromatic makeup series. Blue, fun fact, is my favorite color, so I'm really living for this look right now. I've got my blue eyes, my blue highlight, my blue lip. This one might be my favorite one of all. I don't know, my red look was definitely like it's strong contender, but this one I also am really loving. But I think you guys are gonna be really happy with the purple look, which will be in a couple videos from now. Any hoozles. If you guys would like to see how to achieve this blue monochromatic makeup look, then just keep on watching because I'm gonna show you. So I'm going to dip into the Blue Moon palette from ColourPop. I'm gonna start with the shade Moonlight, which is a beautiful matte pastel blue. I'm going to just start by applying this into the crease. Next, I'm going to take a slightly smaller brush and I'm going to dip into the shade Starry Eyed. And I'm going to take this into the crease as well to deepen up that first blue that I applied. And I'm just taking these colors into the crease. I'm not going into the outer corner at all because I want to leave the lid completely empty. I'm going to go back in and blend that out a little bit. Next, I'm gonna dip into the shade Fine China, which is this royal blue right here. And on an even smaller brush, I'm just taking this right through the crease, deepening up the blue shade. And then again, I'm just gonna go back in and blend over those edges to make sure everything is seamlessly blended. I have to say this is probably my favorite of the ColourPop palettes so far from the Dream Big collection that I got. I love how this is blending and I love the tones of blue. Then I'm gonna go in with the shade Clued In, which is the deepest blue in the palette. And on a really small, like defining brush, I'm going to apply this into the deepest part of the crease. And then I'm just going to blend that out as well. On a flat brush, I'm going to take a little bit of foundation powder. This is Studio Fix powder from MAC and NC10. This is usually what I use to like set my eyeshadow base. And I'm applying this all over the lid to blank it out a little bit like a cut crease, but like not so precise. Doing the same thing on this eye. Next, I'm gonna dip into the shade Lumi, which is this beautiful iridescent blue-white. I really want to use the shade Tide Pool because this is a beautiful blue metallic shade, but I'll just save it for another look. Unfortunately, it broke in transit. I did not like return it or anything or exchange it. I hate having to do that by mail, so I repressed it together. And as long as she doesn't break again, we're good. Going to attempt to spritz my brush with Fix Plus, trying to get out as much as possible. And I'm going to apply this all over the lid. And I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. Next, I'm gonna pop on a little bit of a wing. I'm gonna use the MAC Black Track Liquid Liner. And I'm just going to draw on a wing. So once I have the top of the eyes done, I'm going to go in and apply a little bit of concealer on the under eyes. And this is going to cover up dark circles as well as prime the under eyes. And for this, I'm using the Armani Luminous Silk Concealer. I had a bit of a reaction to pink and purple eyeshadow the other day, so my eyes are incredibly dry right now, but the Luminous Silk Concealer is very hydrating, so I'm just using a little bit of that, or a lot of it. I'm gonna go in with the MAC Chromographic Pencil in Marine Ultra. I'm gonna apply this to the waterline. And bring it onto the lower lash line just a little bit as well. Okay, so now I'm looking at my eyeliner, and this eye looks great, but this eye, she's struggling, but I think I'm gonna let it go because I spent way too much time on the eyeliner, and if I go any further, I'm just gonna mess it up even more, so it's whatever. Next, I'm gonna go back into the shade Clued In, and I'm applying this to the lower lash line, right up against the lashes. Next, on a slightly bigger brush, I'm going to apply the shade Fine China to the lower lash line. I don't want to bring this down too far, so I'm not blending it out a whole lot. I'm really just applying it almost on top of the Clued In color. Then I'm going in with the shade Starry Eyed and applying that to the lower lash line as well, connecting it right up into the outer corner. And then to blend out the lower lash line even further, I'm going in with the shade Moonlight. Again, not trying to take it down too far. With whatever concealer I have left on my sponge, I'm just going back in and touching up those edges to make sure that they're not blended down too far. Okay, and then for the inner corner, I'm gonna go back in with the shade Lumi. I'm just patting that right into the inner tear duct. Okay, so the eyes are done, sans mascara and lashes, which I will do in a little bit. First, I'm gonna zoom you out and I'm gonna finish the face. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with my favorite skin combination right now. If you've been watching my last few videos, you already know. I'm going in with the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Primer and applying this all over the face. I just love how hydrated my skin looks with this primer, and it has a bit of a tacky consistency, so it really just grabs onto foundation. Then I'm also going to go in with the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter for Superstar Youth Glow. Applying this to the high points of the face, so that's going to be my cheekbones. I like to apply it in like almost a V near my eyebrow, up at the forehead, my nose, Cupid's bow and chin, and then just like a tiny bit into the inner corner. Why not? Brighten up the eyes a little bit. And then I'm just gonna blend this out with a brush. Sometimes I use a sponge, sometimes I use a brush. I don't know, this time I'm just kind of feeling like using a brush. All right, perfect. My skin is properly prepped and glowy, ready to go. Next, I'm gonna go in with foundation, and my skin has kind of been recovering from my last major breakout, which I mentioned previously that it was due to niacinamide. Did not love that. I still have a couple little uninvited guests here and there, but kind of feeling like going in with a sheer foundation, so I'm gonna use the Charlotte Tilbury Light Wonder Foundation. This is truly one of my all-time favorites. It's so good. Most of my foundations, I really like using a sponge, but for this one, I like using a brush because it's such a sheer foundation. A sponge really sucks up a lot of the product. So I really like using a brush with this one, so I'm able to get maximum coverage. It's still a very sheer foundation, even with the brush, especially since this one's a little bit on the fluffy side, but I just love how easy it is to apply. And this brush is the Morphe R10. I don't know if they discontinued this brush or not. I got it on sale, but I like this brush a lot. Morphe's makeup products, hit or miss, but their brushes, I would say, are definitely a hit to me. Next, I'm gonna dip into my MAC Pro Conceal and Correct palette. Just doing what I normally do, mixing a couple shades together, and I'm applying this anywhere where I just want a little bit of extra coverage. And to me, that's just really a couple spots right now. And then I'm gonna gently tap those out with my sponge. For a little bit of extra coverage and brightness underneath the eyes, I'm gonna go in with the Giorgio Armani Power Fabric Concealer. And I'm just doing a teensy little bit. This is an incredibly full coverage concealer, so I just need like the tiniest amount. And I'm blending this out with my sponge. And then to set my under eyes, I'm gonna go in with the Hourglass Veil Powder. And I'm going to pat this underneath the eyes. And I'm just doing a thin layer of this. I don't want it to be too powdery or anything. I just wanna set the concealer in place. Okay, so now I have my foundation, concealer, and my under eye setting powder on. I'm going to contour the face. Because this look is more cool toned, blue is more of a cool toned color, I'm wanting to go in with just a little bit of a cool toned shadow to sculpt the cheeks, or just the whole face in general, you know? And I'm going to take the MAC Studio Fix Sculpt and Shape Contour Palette, and I'm going to dip into the shade Sculpt, which is this middle contour shade right here. This one is the coolest in the palette. This color is definitely one of my favorite contour colors. Even though I really don't contour, if I do, I usually reach for this palette. And then of course some up at the forehead as well. And I'm gonna go over that with my sponge to diffuse any excess product. Okay, now I'm gonna add a little bit of blush. I'm using the Tarte Fairy Flush Amazonian Clay blush. This was limited edition. I am a sucker for this packaging. It's so cute. And the shade is just a really pretty light cool tone pink. And I'm just going to apply a little bit of that. Okay, now I'm gonna highlight. I'm gonna go in with two because I'm extra. First, I'm gonna use the Danessa Myricks Dew Wet Balm in Morning Dew. I've used this in my last few videos. I love this freaking highlight. It just looks like gloss and I love it. And I'm applying a really small amount to the cheekbones. And then also to the center of the face, and then a little bit up at the forehead as well. Then I'm going to take the Kat Von D Alchemist Holographic Palette. I'm going to go in with the shade Blue Sapphire, which is like a holographic white blue. And I'm patting this right over top of the Danessa Myricks Dew Wet Balm. And this is going all over the face, so up at the forehead, the nose, upper lip, and chin. Now that I have the complexion pretty much done, I'm gonna hop off camera, do lashes and mascara, and then I'll be back to figure out a lip. Okay, so I have lashes and mascara on. I'm wearing 48 lashes from MAC and the Radical mascara from YSL. And then on the lower lashes, I'm actually wearing a blue mascara. This is the Shock mascara from YSL in number 2, which is a blue mascara. So now I'm going to apply the lip, and I'm first going to go in with the MAC Prep and Prime lip just to smooth everything out. I'm going to go back in with the MAC Chromographic Pencil in Marine Ultra, which was that dark blue eyeliner, and I'm going to line my lips with this. Okay, and you saw this makeshift palette a couple videos ago. This is my colored MAC lipstick palette. This is all just like my funky colors that I use in my kit, my freelance kit. I'm gonna use the shade Matte Royal from MAC. It is a matte lipstick. I used to have this shade in my personal collection. I don't know what happened to it, but I don't really wear like a blue lipstick super often anyway, so it's not the end of the world. With my little lip brush here, I'm just applying this to the lips. And this is the finished look. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you really liked it. If you guys did like this video, don't forget to give it a like. And if you'd like to see more of me, then just hit subscribe. All of my social media links will be down below. So if you'd like to follow me elsewhere, that's going to be in the description box. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I will see you all in the next video. Bye.